Haven't been spending a lot of time in my own shop lately, but I'm on vacation this week. If I don't use it, I lose it. Starting with some cleanup, vacuuming out the downdraft table, cleaning up this grinder I got from Bill, swapping out parts, cleaning the glass, build a base for it, hang these rollers on the wall, and then hopefully make a top and bottom template for this Xylo case. I don't know how old this thing is. The wire wheel needs to be changed because as I'm using it, it's throwing burrs and little wire nibs everywhere, which sucks. These wing nuts are crap, so I'm swapping them. And the glass, the one on the left I haven't cleaned yet. This one, Goo Gone, and then Ceramic Bright, or Cerama Bright, whatever the hell it is. Yep, works good. And toothbrushes are your friend. Got the grinder cleaned up and made a base out of scrap 3/4 ply. Laid out the hole locations. These are 3/4 inch holes to hang it on the wall. It might be too heavy to do that. These through holes are 3/8. Bottom is 7/8 to accept the T-nuts. I like using T-nuts because then I can just bolt down. Problem is I don't have enough bolts. And this hardboard used to be the cover for this table because the white reflected and threw off the camera ISO. Once I swapped out the rigid saw with the saw stop, that became too high, so I would hit it. I couldn't outfeed, so I'd have to remove it all the time, which is a pain in the butt. So I'm just gonna cut what I need out of it and then I'll use what remains. It also helps cover the router plate when I'm using this as an assembly table. I could have bought a 2-pack of socket heads for $1.38, but I just bought the hex heads for 18 cents each. Cut my own slot in them. Works just fine. Got this all bolted on. I'm actually going to store it under the router / assembly table. Seems a bit too heavy to hang on the wall. This lift will actually be coming out of here. It's a modified John Heiss design, and over the past decade some slop has appeared so the bit's no longer perpendicular to the tabletop. That's a problem when you're cutting edges on drums. It's a few modifications actually. I extended the raise and lower mechanism out to the side of the table and added a wheel. I also put the whole thing on a rail so it would slide to the center of the table. Our idea was we were going to be able to cut edges on huge concert bass drums, and for some reason I thought I needed the center of the table for that. You don't. And as you can see, I actually never popped the hole through the table, so I never used it. I designed it, made it, never used it. It's actually easier just to rotate the drum and have it supported on all sides and try to run a concert bass drum around the centered bit. So I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'd love to put another router lift in the table, but I think the table's also developed a bit of a sag, so I should probably pull the top off, put a new one on, raise the skirt so I'm not hitting my toe on there the whole time. I can't really put a lift in the table saw wing because I can't get to it with the way the shop's laid out, and rotating that saw every time, that would get old quick. I do have this table. I think this has also developed a dip, and I might try attaching some angle iron to the bottom to kind of flex that out of there and hope it works, because I didn't make this that long ago. Of course, I then have my John Heiss inspired drill press table and fence. Use the same kind of mechanism idea for the router table fence. John Heiss's inspired downdraft table. You can tell I like John Heiss. He's a good man. So the story is we need to make a case for a customer's Deegan xylophone. And he only has the 4 rails and the bars. He doesn't have these in parts, the in plates I guess you could say. We're using Bill's Deegan xylophone in order to make the template. I think this 3/4 spacing is enough. I'm going to use 1/2 inch plywood to build everything. So that should be enough space by the time I cut the rabbet. I need to pad out the front and the back. 3/4 is probably enough, but we don't want to end up making it and be too tight and kick ourselves in the ass. So we're going to pad the front and back out by 1 inch. I just happen to have an 1-inch wide board of poplar. Trace this out using the front of the bars, back of the bars, and the hardboard will become the template for the top and the bottom panels of the case. Using the table saw fence as a straight edge on the side, I've made some marks around the Xylo and the Xylo bars with some spacers. I'm going to connect those with a straight edge, see how far we get. I think I'm fiddling with this more than I need to, being a little fussy. It's kind of odd. The frame that the customer's Xylo came in on is a lot smaller than Bill's, even though the bars are the same size. So since the bars are the same size, still kind of need to make the case around Bill's frame. Maybe this guy's bars were more squashed. I don't know. So I'm kind of fiddling with my offsets on this template, and before I make any cuts, I want to get a test rabbet cut into some 1/2-inch stock, because I'm not sure if I really need a full 1/4 inch rabbet. Maybe I can get away with a 3/16 inch rabbet. Also, I probably should have gone wider on my hardboard, but if I'm squeezing things in a bit, I'll be fine. So when my brain needs a rest, I just move over to the other side of the basement. The number of pallets has dropped to the point where I was able to get rid of another pallet. It's that time of the year where I'm able to get my basement space back. So I can break out the dedicated dado table saw again, drum hardware that hasn't been used in a year, and digging back into this metal lathe. This is a Craftsman 109.21280, probably made in the 60s, made by AA. I think that's Atlas, not sure. Taking it apart again, so I can take this part to Jim, the machinist. It's a broken casting. See if that can be fixed or replaced or needs to be. I'm not really even sure what it does. Jim has agreed to come over one day and give me a quick run through of how to use this dang thing, which would be nice. This is one of those situations where you know after you do this, a day, maybe 2 days from now, you're going to come up with a better way to do it, but this is the best you have right now, so we're going with it. Got to cut an angle on this, clamp this straight edge, clamp the workpiece to the table saw. This board is just a press fit between the straight edge and the fence so that there's no flex. This thing is a puzzle. Good thing I like puzzles. Got a 1/2-inch piece of plywood with a rabbet, trying to determine my desired heights, height of the bottom, overall height. I want to build this as an enclosed box and then cut the lid off after it's all, glued up and dried. And I'd rather build it too tall and cut it down as necessary. The rail, plus a bar, plus a piece of 3/4 ply, and I'll probably pad that out some more. We don't know if we're going to put padding on the top of the lid. Top of the inside of the lid, I should say, to keep the bars from rattling around during transport. I was going to try to figure out the corner angles, but I think we'll just do that as we're assembling. Just sneak up on it with a piece of scrap. But for now, I think we're pretty good. We have 8 inches of snow rolling in tonight, and I have no heat in this shop, so it is cold. I am packing it in.